I want to show you how to avoid putting your body into any kind of a starvation mode where it's going to start burning fewer and fewer calories and hang on to stubborn fat. I'm a visual learner, so I want to show you how this works, and I'm going to explain it to you like you were 5 years old because that's really the only way I ever learn anything. To begin, this is a super helpful visual. Think of your body like this fuel truck. It's got two fuel sources. One is food, the other is fat. Our bodies are amazingly adaptive and they're able to switch between burning food for fuel and burning fat for fuel. As long as they have access to one of these two fuel sources, they have no reason to go into what people call starvation mode. However, if the body has no access to food and no access to fat, it will respond by dropping the total number of calories it's burning. It cuts its energy expenditure. The confusing and frustrating part is that many people have available fat for fuel, but they're not able to tap into it despite cutting calories. And here's why. When we're eating, our insulin levels are elevated. Insulin levels being elevated is a signal to the body to be storing calories as fat. When we're not eating, insulin is low, and insulin being low signals to the body to be burning stored fat for energy. Let's say our body burns 2,000 calories per day. Well, if we're fasting and our insulin levels are low, our body can burn fat for some of that energy. The body's getting the energy it needs from fat. Then when it's time to eat, it can get the rest of the calories from food. Since the body is getting all the calories, all 2,000 calories that it needs, it doesn't have any reason to drop its metabolic rate. It's burning 1,000 from food and the other 1,000 from our stored fat. This is what we want if our goal is to reduce body fat. Even if we have a caloric deficit, if we're eating foods that keep our insulin levels high, and if we space those meals out throughout the day, even though we're only eating 1,000 calories of food and our bodies are used to burning 2,000 calories, you think, well, there's a deficit there. Insulin being high prevents the body from being able to tap into the stored fat. And so even though we've got all this fuel here, insulin prevents us from being able to access it. And since the body can't access this fat for energy, the body responds by lowering the amount of calorie expenditure. And if the goal is to lose weight, this is not what we want. Our resting energy expenditure, or our metabolic rate, is actually increased when we use intermittent fasting as a way to burn fat. The main catalyst in this is a boost in noradrenaline, or norepinephrine. Studies have shown that when you get deeper and deeper into a fast, your caloric expenditure actually increases. This is because our bodies have always been really good at using fat for fuel during times of scarcity. In fact, with prolonged fasting, metabolic rate has increased by as much as 10% in as few as 4 days. So to avoid starvation mode, create regular periods of low insulin. That way your body can tap into fat and always have a fuel source.